right now at 7.
New details just in on a new confirmed coronavirus case here in the Bay Area, where the patient is being cared for right now.
First of all, they need to be in an isolated room or a single room that has negative pressure.
Traffic is so bad downtown that certainly something probably needs to be done.
Yeah, but will people really pay a toll to drive on San Francisco's streets? The mayor's solution to end gridlock.
Plus, a former San Francisco Giant uninvited by the team to a special championship event. Did his comments on women go too far?
I wouldn't want to coach women's sports. Women are tough enough to deal with anyway.
You know what? He's exactly the turd he makes himself out to be on social media. Hang up on him. We're done.
Well, right now on the KPIX 5 News at 7 and streaming on CBS Bay Area, within the last hour, we have learned that a lot more about a new coronavirus patient in Napa County. Good evening. I'm Ken Bastida.
And I'm Elizabeth Cook. A second patient is showing symptoms tonight. They landed at Travis Air Force Base in Fairfield Sunday night. Now, out of caution, the patients are being monitored in special isolation rooms at Queen of the Valley Medical Center in Napa. They had both been flown to Travis from Japan, where they had been quarantined on the Diamond Princess cruise ship. Health officials say that they are equipped and prepared to handle the virus.
They need to be in an isolated room or a single room that has negative pressure, which means that the air is sucked out of the room and out to the outside.
Healthcare workers caring for the patients are also required to wear full protection, including N95 respirators, eye protection, and gowns. Meanwhile, a group of people has been given the all clear to leave Travis Air Force Base after a 14-day quarantine. KPIX 5's Juliette Goodrich tells us they're tired and anxious to finally get home.
Tired and ready to get home, this group has been given a clean bill of health. Their journey home from China has been long. They've been on a forced extended vacation of sorts.
Where's home sweet home for you now?
Just home.
Oh, just home.
Yeah.
It's been a long journey, I assume.
Yeah.
178 Americans evacuated from China were quarantined in a hotel inside Travis Air Force Base the past 2 weeks, including Daisy and her 2 young daughters. We showed you photos of them from their hotel at Travis.
You guys, they have smiles.
Today, they took a bus to SFO to catch a flight home.
What did you do holding up with the kids for 2 weeks? We've been following your journey.
We're just tired from the trip.
Pardon me?
Sorry. We're just tired from the trip.
Because of high risk of exposure to coronavirus, they were screened daily. While the journey ends for this group, it's just the beginning for another group of Americans evacuated from the Diamond Princess cruise ship in Japan and flown to Travis Air Force Base Sunday night. 14 people from the latest group have tested positive for the coronavirus and taken to medical facilities off base. Currently, there are no flights between SFO and mainland China. Airlines have eliminated those flights and have limited flights to Hong Kong through March.
But when we look at this time of year, normally there's about 90 flights nonstop per week from SFO to mainland China and Hong Kong. That's now been reduced by about 80%, so fairly significant schedule reduction.
There was one busload today. There'll be another one arriving here to the airport tomorrow morning. All of them ready to head home. In San Francisco, Juliette Goodrich, KPIX 5.
And just minutes ago, we learned that the rest of the passengers on that quarantined cruise ship in Japan are starting to be released and are heading home. Most of the passengers stayed on board after the Americans were evacuated to finish out a 14-day quarantine.
At least 3 people are in ICE custody tonight after being arrested at the Sonoma County Superior Courthouse. The sheriff confirms the arrest by the Department of Homeland Security without assistance from local authorities. The action was condemned by the local district attorney and public defender, who say the presence of ICE in court buildings has the effect of scaring away witnesses and victims. The head of ICE has previously rejected those concerns, saying targeted enforcement will continue.
Well, San Francisco's mayor is pitching a new plan to relieve the city's clogged streets, and it could mean drivers will have to pay up. KPIX 5's Andrea Borba is live in downtown to explain. Andrea?
Well, Ken, think of it like pricing on the Bay Bridge during those busier traffic hours when it goes up a few dollars to cross the Bay Bridge from Oakland into San Francisco. The same theory would apply on city streets here in San Francisco. It's after 3 o'clock. That means a sea of red taillights are lighting up and queuing up for every approach to the Bay Bridge in San Francisco's financial district and south of Market neighborhoods. The ongoing jammed and clogged city streets could face a new deterrent for drivers: congestion pricing. Mayor London Breed has sent a letter to the SF-MTA board to explore the idea.
Traffic is so bad downtown that certainly something probably needs to be done.
It's not the first time the idea of charging drivers during peak hours has been bandied about. In fact, a 2010 study from SF-CTA, the San Francisco County Transit Authority, called a version of congestion pricing, quote, technically feasible.
I think it's making more and more sense with each passing year.
But charging for driving on a city street requires state approval, and a toll on the famous crooked stretch of Lombard Street was vetoed by Governor Gavin Newsom just last year. The letter comes just weeks after Market Street was shut down to non-commercial traffic. Another thought proposed in the letter: taking away free parking meters on nights and Sundays.
A lot of people come into the city on the weekend, and I think that, that parking is just as valuable on the weekend as it is during the week.
Ooh, I don't like that. I like coming in on Sundays.
Now, you might be wondering if congestion pricing is feasible, if it's been done in another big city before. Well, right now, New York City is in negotiations with the Federal Department of Transportation to try and figure out a plan for congestion pricing below 60th Street on Manhattan Island itself. But the holdup here is whether or not they will need an environmental impact report. Whatever deal comes out of this New York City Fed situation likely would apply here in San Francisco as well. Reporting live, Andrea Borba, KPIX 5.
Andrea, thank you for that.
2 separate searches for 3 missing people now underway in Marin. 76-year-old hiker Robert Bennett hasn't been seen since yesterday. He was last seen in a gray flannel shirt and blue jeans. He was walking toward the Valley Stone Trail that's along the Big Rock Ridge Trail in Nevada, a challenging hike and one of Marin's highest. Searchers are in their 3rd day of trying to locate a missing Palo Alto couple, also last seen in Marin. 72-year-old Ian Irwin and 77-year-old Carol Kaparsky were staying at a cottage in Inverness. Today, Irwin's son arrived from out of state to assist the searchers, whose numbers have diminished.
So today is a more focused effort with fewer numbers of searches and some more technical searches by the dogs.
We've seen them, yeah. I mean, they actually were on our property this morning. We have about an acre, and there were these guys, like, literally crawling around in the bushes.
Drones are also being used to check thick brush. Searchers remain encouraged by the fact that both Irwin and Kaparsky are in good health.
A suspect's been arrested for allegedly aiming a laser pointer at a CHP aircraft. Video from the plane captured the incident last night near the Napa County Airport. Officials say a bright flash hit the pilot in the eyes, but fortunately, that pilot was able to maintain control. It only took a matter of minutes for the air crew to locate the direction of the laser strike. Police showed up a short time later on the ground and arrested that suspect. Coming up next, the former 49ers owner pardoned today by President Trump.
He has done so much in NFL football.
I think it was a good, I want to say, gesture, and the president doing that for him.
Plus, we will check in on the president's rare campaign stop happening right here in California.
And we're live at spring training for the Giants, but it's comments from a former player that have fans and the team upset tonight.
I don't believe a woman should be in men's pro sports. Absolutely not.
Plus, the new picture from space that has us all asking what happened to winter, Brian.
Well, is presently residing, like the Giants, in spring. We have no rain on the way as far as we can see, but we do have the forecast coming up as we look live over the city. It's all happening when we come back.
And don't forget, we're streaming now on CBSN Bay Area. You can find us on KPIX.com, the CBS News app, or your favorite platform.
Some legendary 49ers giving praise to President Trump tonight for his move to pardon former Niners owner Eddie DeBartolo Jr.
The former players were all on hand at the White House in a show of support. DeBartolo pled guilty in 1998 for his role in a $400,000 bribery scheme involving a riverboat casino license in Louisiana. He was fined $1 million and sentenced to 2 years probation. That's when he transferred team ownership to his sister. His exile from football, however, did little to change his greatness in the eyes of players and fans.
You know, this man, he has done so much in the community, has done so much in NFL football.
As a fan, I think we understand we all make human mistakes, but I think it was a good, I want to say, gesture in the president doing that for him.
Switching to baseball, spring training underway in Arizona for the San Francisco Giants, but it's former Giant Aubrey Huff that has fans talking tonight.
And not in a good way. Sports director Dennis O'Donnell is live in Scottsdale. Hey, Dennis.
Elizabeth, the Giants aren't going to win many games this season. We know that. So they plan to celebrate the glory days in August. They're bringing back the 2010 World Championship team. Everybody's coming except one guy, Aubrey Huff.
Aubrey Huff hits one a ton into right.
Huff was one of the best players in baseball in 2010, a big reason why they broke a 56-year championship drought. But Huff's post-baseball career hasn't estranged from the Giants.
Typically, I wasn't a guy when I played that was always into the media. Would kind of get out of here, guys. This is our clubhouse. I was that guy. Now I'm on that side.
He started in sports talk radio right here in the Bay Area and has since become a mouthpiece on social media for conservative politics. Because of tweets that don't align with their values, the Giants are not inviting Huff to the 2010 reunion. Buster Posey was a rookie on that team.
He was definitely prone to being a jokester at times. I feel like we're talking about like he died or something. He didn't die or anything,
Pablo Sandoval was much more critical in his opinion of Huff, telling the Chronicle, quote, "It doesn't surprise me. Sometimes you have to be polite, and you're going to get in trouble for what you post." Huff claims he's being punished for supporting Donald Trump, but his Twitter page tells a different story. He's made xenophobic remarks, plus misogynistic ones aimed at the Giants coach, Alyssa Nakken. 95.7 The Game invited Huff to explain his side of the story this morning. The interview did not go well.
I don't believe a woman should be in men's pro sports. Absolutely not. But I also don't believe that men belong in women's college sports. I wouldn't want to coach women's sports. Women are tough enough to deal with anyway.
You know what? He's exactly the turd he makes himself out to be on social media. Hang up on him. We're done.
Ken, Elizabeth, I've been down here for 4 days. I've seen Giants coach Alyssa Nakken. She has assimilated herself very well with the Giants coaching staff and the players. So Aubrey Huff, words matter, and that's a reason he's not going to be in August with the 2010 reunion. Guys, back to you.
Tough start for baseball. You got the Houston Astros, you got Aubrey Huff. Let's hope things get better. Dennis, thank you for that.
Well, turning to weather now, this new satellite picture shows the Sierra snowpack is suffering tonight. On the left is last year at this time. On the right, this year. Wow. It's about 58% of average for this time of year. Not a good thing to see right now.
No,
we need
it does not look good.
Rain, moisture, anything.
I remember the Miracle March.
That can happen.
It can happen.
Yeah, I mean, not that I'm wishing for this, but we can get flooding, big time flooding in March.
You don't want too much all at once.
Don't want it all at once. Yeah, there's no indication anything like that is on the horizon, but it doesn't stop raining in February. It could continue. We just hope it gets started up. Highs from today, San Jose 69 degrees in Redwood City, managed 68 in Fremont, 68 as well. Half Moon Bay, relatively chill at 62. Numbers continue above average, about 6 degrees above normal for Concord for tomorrow's forecast temperature. The high temperature today, 68 degrees, 69 for San Jose and 68 in Santa Rosa, all 6 to 7 degrees above average. Tonight, there'll be the big chill in Santa Rosa. The number's down to 35 degrees. In Fairfield, 37. Oakland, 43 tonight. And San Francisco, 45. Low pressure is still parked up there in the Aleutians. That's going to change by the time we get to Thursday, when Thursday night and Friday, when the low will sink offshore, be pretty much a beam Central California. And when that low sinks south, it doesn't look like it's bringing much with it. There's not much in the way of moisture. The temperatures come down a bit. Clouds thicken up a bit, but it doesn't look like it's going to rain on Friday when we get the cloudiest day of the week. So first things first, mostly clear night tonight and patchy fog, a little more fog tonight than we had last night. Midweek sunshine. Tomorrow looks sunny. It'll stay on the mild side, and more clouds will come in on Friday, and just a minimal shower chance for Friday and, in fact, for Sunday. Tomorrow, we're forecasting things to be about 1 to 5 degrees above average, with numbers in the low to mid 60s. Specifically for Wednesday in Pacifica, we'll be at 59 degrees, Redwood City at 66, 67 for Mountain View, and 68 in San Jose. Over in the East Bay, the numbers will be in the mid 60s for Wednesday. Plenty of sun, 66 at Livermore, Dublin, 65 Pleasanton, 67 degrees. Up by the Carquinez Strait, 67 for Vallejo, and 67 at Benicia. North Bay looks nice too, 67 for Novato. Santa Rosa will top out tomorrow at 68 degrees, and in Rohnert Park, 66. Finally, up around Ukiah and Lakeport and Cloverdale, the numbers will be in the mid 60s. In the extended forecast, we're going to be looking for mid 60s to be the story right through next Tuesday. And even though we clouded up on Friday and we clouded up on Sunday and the numbers come down a little bit, there's nothing else coming down, not at least for the next week. Kenny?
All right, pray for rain. Thanks, Brian. Coming up next, an update from the campaign trail.
Why you can expect to see a lot more of Democrat Michael Bloomberg in the primetime spotlight starting tomorrow.
And why NASCAR fans are breathing a little easier tonight. What we just found out about Ryan Newman after last night's nasty, scary crash.
Wow, well, believe it or not, this is not a movie shoot. It's history made with a jetpack. Don't forget, we're streaming now on CBSN Bay Area. You can find us on KPIX.com, the CBS News app, or your favorite platform. And here's what you missed if you're just getting home right now. Encouraging news from the racing world tonight. NASCAR driver Ryan Newman is awake and speaking after a horrific crash in the final lap of the Daytona 500. Newman's Ford Mustang was pushed by a teammate, sending it into the wall where it flipped several times and burst into flames. Crews pulled him from the wreckage and rushed him to the hospital, but tonight there's still no information on his injuries. Right now, President Trump is in Southern California for a 4-day West Coast fundraising trip. He's just wrapping up a fundraiser in Beverly Hills with another one in the Palm Springs area tomorrow. Earlier today, Mr. Trump met with organizers of the 2028 U.S. Olympic Committee. He signed a document which he said was the federal government's support of the L.A. Olympic bid.
These games will also be a major economic victory. The 2028 Olympics will create 112,000 jobs and add $18 billion to our economy at least.
And expect to see Democrat Michael Bloomberg in his first debate tomorrow night in Vegas. He finally qualified to make the debate stage after a new national poll was released, showing him now in second place behind Bernie Sanders. Ken?
Elizabeth, thank you. Coming up next, high-flying history. What made this amazing jetpack flight different from all the rest?
History was made in Dubai this week in a scene that looked like a movie. Take a look.
I cannot get enough of this. Vince Raffet, first jetpack pilot to start his flight taking off from the ground. In most flights, pilots have taken off from planes or helicopters. 4 mini jet engines, carbon fiber wings. Carbon fiber allowed him to fly at speeds of 150 miles an hour. This was a culmination of more than 50 test flights.
Wow. It looks terrifying and amazing all at the same time.
Coming sooner or later.
Well, thank you for watching at 7. The news continues streaming on CBSN Bay Area.